Hello, my name is Lauren Basich, and this is my senior project presentation entitled Cooking with Dancers. Just some project overview. For my senior project, I wanted to learn how to cook. However, I wanted to take a new and creative twist on most common foods and learning how to make healthier recipes. In doing this, I would not only learn basic cooking instructions and strategies, but also learn how to provide a healthy twist on common foods. The community aspect of my senior project is to share all of the food that I cooked with my dance community of Marin School of the Arts dancers. I have been in Marin School of the Arts for the past 4 years, and I was so excited to integrate myself into the Marin School of the Arts community in a new and creative way through cooking. In doing this, I brought all of the meals that I cooked to Marin School of the Arts classes, performances, and rehearsals to help dancers keep their energy up during the rehearsals and classes. Originally stated in my senior project contract, I was supposed to have a Marin School of the Arts dance dinner party hosted at my house for my culminating event. However, due to the coronavirus, this will no longer be possible due to the mandatory quarantine. However, I have been able to adjust my project to the current circumstances, and I will be hosting a culminating event of a dinner party with my immediate family instead. Throughout the process of cooking these past 6 months, I've also kept a cookbook that has logged each dish that I've made. In the cookbook, I have stated the different ingredients, cooking instructions, preparation, the different dishes, and justifications for why this is considered a healthy dish or would prepare dancers for their enduring long rehearsals. In doing this, I've been able to keep a log and keep track of the dishes that I've cooked, as well as mistakes I've made along the way and corrections that I've made to improve upon my cooking skills. Each dish follows the same process of preparation, and it is as followed as research to make sure that the dish is truly health appropriate to the supported audience of dancers or common people. Next, I would go shopping for the ingredients to make sure that they were healthy ingredients that I could include in my meals. Then was the meal preparation step. This varied on each dish, but at times it was more complicated than others. Finally was the cooking process. After this, I would share with my MSA dance community or my family members after the quarantine started. And finally, the last step was to record and log my cooking experience in my cookbook. After completing each of these steps for the 15 dishes required, I can say that it definitely took 50 hours and reached the benchmark of the senior project. The goal of my senior project was to not only learn basic cooking instructions and learning how to make healthy meals, but to design a cooking regimen designed specifically for dancers. Being a dancer myself, I understand the importance of healthy eating in order to keep your energy up throughout the day, dealing with rehearsals and classes. My goal is to create food that dancers and dancer lifestyles support. For my first dish, I made the portobello mushroom turkey burgers. In this recipe, I utilized ground turkey meat over ground beef or red meat, and it represented a healthier version of regular burgers. Due to the fact that I used mushroom tops instead of hamburger buns, it was reduced in carbohydrates and sugar, and I found a way to find a healthy alternative for ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise by using pesto aioli sauce. Throughout making this dish, I also learned how to properly defrost meat and cover meat with breadcrumbs in order to shape the patties. The second dish that I made was the chicken and cheese burrito. I made about 4 burritos and cut them into roughly 20 slices and distributed them to the dance department. In order to make this meal into a healthy alternative, I replaced the regular tortilla with a low-carb tortilla. I also replaced the rice and beans with avocados, tomatoes, mushrooms, grilled cheese, and chicken to serve as reduced carbohydrate and increased protein ingredients. My third dish was the mushroom tomato omelet. In this recipe, I tried to replace many of the traditional breakfast meats with healthier ingredients, including mushrooms, tomatoes, and avocados. These are the 3 salads that I made throughout the process of my senior project, being dishes number 4, 5, and 12. Dish number 4 was a fruit salad composed of apples, bananas, oranges, and strawberries. I was able to refrigerate all of these, cut these fruits up, and mix them in a bowl and distribute them to the Marin School of the Arts dancers during an in-class rehearsal. Dish number 5 was a Caesar salad that I prepared with grilled chicken, cheese, and Caesar dressing, and distributed to MSA Dance during the student choreography showcase. Dish number 12 was a tomato mozzarella salad with balsamic vinegar. Dish number 6 was called bacon and egg cups. Essentially, you pre-cooked the bacon on the stove and then wrapped the already pre-cooked bacon around cupcake trays filled with an egg and topped with cheese and placed in the oven until fully cooked. This served as a more compact breakfast, and I used the healthy alternative of using turkey bacon instead of regular bacon. This was actually the first mistake that I made throughout my senior project, in which I overcooked the bacon during the first pre-cook stage. However, I made a second batch and made sure not to make the same mistake again. This next dish, dish number 7, is called tomato tacos. This is essentially a healthy alternative to regular tacos, where instead of using the regular taco shell, you replace with a tomato. Due to the fact that we're not using tortilla shells or corn shells, it is reduced in carbohydrates and sugars. I also decided to use turkey beef, which is considered a more lean beef compared to ground beef, and it was a new and creative way to reinvent tacos. The 8th dish that I prepared are the tomato chicken wraps. Unfortunately, dish number 8 was the final dish in which I was able to share with the Marin School of the Arts dancers. However, I enjoyed making these house deliveries to many of the dancers within the Marin School of the Arts program. In these wraps, I used low-carb tortillas, which served as a substitute for regular tortillas. I also filled with grilled chicken, tomatoes, cheese, and lettuce, and replaced typical sauces with the pesto aioli sauce. The 9th dish that I attempted was a healthy styled grilled cheese. In an effort to find a new and creative way to make grilled cheese, I tried to tackle each specific ingredient and find a healthy alternative for that. To begin, I started with replacing white bread with whole wheat bread and went from whole wheat bread to reduced carbohydrate bread. I also used the pesto aioli sauce in substitution of the regular pesto or mayonnaise. The 10th dish that I made was salmon and broccoli. I tried to utilize various meats throughout this process of creating my senior project, including salmon, pork chops, and chicken, because they're considered to be more lean meat, and I also created a vegetable side dish with broccoli. Dish number 11 was the turkey, meatballs, and green beans. In substitution of regular ground beef, I used turkey meat to compose the meatballs and made the side dish of green beans to serve as a vegetable. I also used the pesto aioli sauce in this dish because it is reduced in carbs and serves as a healthy alternative. Dish number 13 was the grilled chicken breast. I wanted to use this part of the chicken because it is considered the least concentration of fat and skin and has the highest concentration of protein. So for my project goal, I wanted to use the part of the meat with the least fat and the most protein. The 14th dish that I made was pork chops and broccoli. I also considered pork chops to be a very lean meat, and for my project goal, fit into creating a healthy regimen. Many athletes and physically fit people prefer lean meats to red or ground beef, so pork chops seemed like a logical meat to choose. I also added the side dish of broccoli in this dish as well. Dish number 15 was the chicken and vegetable shish kebabs. In this dish, I was able to integrate both the lean meat of chicken and vegetables into the same dish. I also topped it with the pesto aioli sauce to finish and cooked it by using a barbecue. Although I was unable to finish the culminating event originally stated in my senior project with the Marin School of the Arts dancers, I was, however, able to do a dinner party with my immediate family. In this dinner party, I was able to recreate dish number 2, which was the chicken and cheese burritos. I included the fruit salad, which was dish number 4, the Caesar salad, which was dish number 5, and the chicken and vegetable shish kebabs, which was dish number 15. Before I decided to make any specific dish, I did a great deal of research on each ingredient to make sure that it could be considered a healthy alternative. Before deciding to prepare a dish, I researched the meal's ingredients and cooking preparation processes. In my cookbook, I've recorded a summary at the bottom of each recipe page explaining my findings from my research and what led me to believe that this is a healthy food option. After researching the dish, the next step is to go to the grocery store and purchase all of the ingredients. Surprisingly, shopping for ingredients became slightly more challenging. As the pandemic worsened, it progressively became more challenging to go out and purchase ingredients at the store. Although this did not inhibit my progress throughout the project, it was an unforeseen challenge. After the research and shopping processes, I would then begin cooking. Whether it be defrosting meat or covering meat with breadcrumbs, meal preparation was often step 3. In the process of cooking my 15 dishes, I created a cookbook to log each meal I made. In doing this, I was able to take notes on the process of cooking each dish, as well as record the preparation, cooking instructions, and ingredients for each meal. I also included an explanation at the bottom of each dish's recipe page, justifying the reasons for this being a healthy dish or a healthy alternative for another common food. In this cookbook, it was my goal to lay out the entire process of creating each dish by showing the intricate levels of preparation that some meals require. Keeping a cookbook allowed me to record challenges I faced throughout the process of preparing each dish. This log went towards future dishes I cooked. The information that I gathered from my previous attempts at cooking worked to improve my cooking strategies in my later dishes, allowing me to learn from my mistakes and make improvements. I had initially hoped to take my project in the direction of aiming my cooking towards an audience of dancers. This proved itself to be very effective when I had the opportunity to bring meals I cooked to those within the Marin School of the Arts dance department, both during and after school hours. In this time, I brought a total of 8 dishes to my fellow dancers in MSA. However, after the cancellation of school and the mandatory quarantine, I have been unable to continue the communal aspect of my senior project. I began to shift the focus of my senior project towards learning how to make healthy meals overall, not just from the standpoint of being a dancer. Due to the fact that my targeted audience of dancers were no longer able to be the subjects of tasting my various prepared dishes, I decided to begin cooking overall healthy meals. Due to unforeseen circumstances with the completion of the senior project, there were aspects that were challenging to complete the project and fit the benchmark of the requirements for the senior project. To begin, some challenges that I faced was going to the store. This became surprisingly more difficult as the senior project continued and the home quarantine continued to be extended. However, I was still able to retrieve all of my ingredients from the stores and complete my 15 dishes. Another aspect that was slightly altered was my community aspect. Originally, the community aspect of my senior project was supposed to be me sharing the dishes that I had been cooking to my Marin School of the Arts dancers. However, due to the quarantine, I was unable to deliver the last 7 dishes of my 15, although I was happy that I had the opportunity to deliver the first 8 and share them within the Marin School of the Arts dance department. The other aspect that was slightly altered was the culminating event. I originally stated in my senior project proposal that I would host a dinner party for Marin School of the Arts dancers. However, this was unable to happen due to the coronavirus. However, I was still able to supplement that with a dinner party hosted with my family. Reflecting back on my senior project, I now see the importance of being flexible and being able to adjust to probable change. There were a lot of changes that happened throughout the process of completing this project that made certain aspects of my project more difficult to complete. However, I was able to adjust my community aspect and my culminating event and still complete the senior project. I also believe that all of the work that I completed throughout the months preceding the quarantine was also very effective in communicating my goal of the project. Unfortunately, I was just unable to complete the culminating event and community aspect due to the quarantine. I also learned how important research is in finding out how healthy meals are. After the quarantine, I focused a lot of my time on researching the reasons in which these meals were healthy, and I am happy to say that I have taken a new twist on learning a new skill, and I'm happy to have gotten involved in my community of dancers in a way that is new and creative. Thank you for your time.